Welcome to this week's Down Home with Tina. I am your host, Tina Thompson. It's great to be with you. I have got a couple of great guests. I've got my first responder of the month, who happens to be a brand new DARE officer in the Lancaster Police Department and for the Lancaster City Schools, as well as my teacher of the month, who is from another school district from Walnut Township and Millersport Elementary School. So I'm really excited to have those two folks. And don't go anywhere, because I have my message that I always like to share with you at the end of the show. And this one's a pretty important one, so I'll just kind of tell you a little bit. It has something to do with don't let life get the best of you. And I'll be back here in just a minute with my first guest. You're watching Down Home with Tina.
Fairfield Federal. When it comes to our customers and our community, we go above and beyond to help. Our people make the difference.
We were retiring from Tucson, Arizona, and we made a retirement trip out around Ohio, having decided that's where we wanted to be. And we came across this town called Lancaster, and we fell in love with the downtown area, where the fountain is, and the memorials, and the flags, and all this stuff. And we looked around, and I said, "There's our bank, right there."
There's something to be said about a community bank in your hometown.
Right. If you live in the community, you should do business in the community as much as possible. So it makes sense to bank with the community bank where you live.
Fairfield Federal is the bank to be at. If you live in this town, or any town actually, you want to bank at a local home bank. The employees are happy here. They're conversant. Customer service is through the roof. There's nothing more you could ask for.
Personal or business banking, whatever you need, we take it seriously because we know you do. Stop by today at any of our 3 locations and see why the difference is clear. Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan specializes in banking that revolves around you.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Welcome back to Down Home with Tina. I'm so excited. My first responder of the month. He is a new fella, not to the Lancaster Police Department, but in the program that he is in. And I'm so excited to have him. Going to talk with him and find out a little bit about, a little of his career. And I want to welcome Andrew Bennett. You are the new DARE officer for Lancaster Police Department.
Yep. Yes, ma'am. Thanks for having me on. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. I'm really excited to have you. I was just telling Andrew before we got started, folks, that when I started my media career, I'll call it, it was into radio. There were 2 people that were regular guests on my show, and they were the easiest people to talk to. And one was Corey Schoonover with the Fairfield Area Humane Society, and then also Jim Marshall, who was Community Services DARE officer.
I'm sure you had to stop him from talking at some point.
That is exactly why he was so regular. It was so easy just to sit and have a conversation with him. And you know what? It's funny that you said that, Andrew, because I asked you, were we going to be chatty today? And you said, and what I do, we tend to talk a lot. And that's really why I think Jim came to mind, was because he was a talker and he's just so easy to chat with.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Great
something?
person. Yeah, absolutely.
That goes along with the job, because you have to be able to communicate.
Yeah, absolutely. We talk to people every day. That's our job, and for reasons that you probably couldn't even guess. You never know when you arrive at a house what the problem's going to be, what they need help with, and so that's most of our job is talking.
That's right. Finding out and learning and listening and
yep.
Yes, and sharing, of course, as well, which is what you do with the DARE program. But why did you decide to get into law enforcement, and how old were you when you got into it, Andrew?
I got in law enforcement as soon as I could, 21, right out of college, graduated from Ohio State, got recruited to DC, worked there for 2 years, and then came back to Lancaster where I grew up at. I've known I want to be an officer for pretty much my whole life. I have some amazing role models. My grandfather worked at Lancaster Police Department, Larry C. Schultz. And then my uncle, Greg C. Schultz, just retired.
Yes.
So
yes.
I have some family history there.
Oh my goodness.
And both those guys are really great role models growing up. And I've had some more along the way. I'm a very fortunate person when it comes to role models and people to look up to. So,
did you know when you left Lancaster that you were going to end up coming back, being that you had such strong family ties here?
I did not. When I left, I'd always kind of planned on going somewhere for at least a little while. It was more of a real life started to kick in, and I had a fiance at the time, and we had all these other things, and DC was just a different lifestyle, and we wanted to come back to our roots and where we were comfortable.
Andrew, what was it that you missed the most about Lancaster when you were gone?
It's the people. It's people here are, there's a very caring atmosphere in town, right? You get to know your neighbors, you get to know the people around you, and, really good people, and you don't get that everywhere you go. So.
Right. What is the favorite thing about your job that you like right now? Because I shouldn't even I shouldn't say right now, because you're just changing and transitioning into a new.
I'm in a weird space right now. I'm kind of a hybrid position at the PD, which is something kind of new. So anything new comes, some learning curves. So I'm mixed between patrol. So people will see me out and about, most 4 days a week. You'll see me working patrol. And then 1 day a week right now I'll be teaching dare, which unfortunately I did not have a chance to do today because of the school's closing, but I will be coming up here in the future. So
yeah. So what is it that you're looking forward to with being the new dare officer?
Really, I enjoy helping kids and kind of shaping some of our youth as they're growing up. I'm coached football for 5 years, junior high at Amanda Clear Creek, where I went to high school. So I really kind of enjoy that interaction. I really enjoy kind of teaching them, guiding them along the way. One of my other role models, who was my football coach, who I actually got the opportunity to coach with, Coach Perry at Amanda Clear Creek. Most people would know him if they went there. His belief was, if I help one kid along the way to change their course in life to something better, then it was well worth the 30 years he put into coaching. So that's kind of my mentality when it comes to kids is, try to help guide them, try to lead them down a, better path than maybe they would have gone anyway, otherwise. So.
Well, and it definitely sounds like not only with your coach, but also those family members and with the impression that they left on you as adults. I mean, it led you into this career.
Absolutely.
And then do you believe that everything that happens for a reason, and that you are where you're supposed to be in this DARE program?
I do. I truly do believe everything happens for a reason, and kind of been guided along the way.
What kind of training is expected from you in order for you to be able to teach this DARE program that you're going to begin into the schools and do?
So we go through it's called DARE School is what we call it. It's actually probably one of the hardest law enforcement trainings, because it's outside of what we do on a daily basis, as far as like how we interact, going from a problem solving, kind of path, we show up, what's the problem, here's your solution, to more of a kid oriented, kind of just lead them to solutions, but let them come up with it, let them just kind of guiding them, teaching,
to prevent them from them getting to that position where you may have to go out on
just
a call.
Make good decisions. I mean, the whole DARE program is really set up it's a new program. I mean, it's been updated very recently to it's decision making, just good decision making. Just how do you go about your daily life and make good decisions, not just when it comes to drugs and everything that kind of was the classic program, but in our everyday life. We make decisions every day, and those decisions, even the small ones, can have good or bad impacts.
Absolutely.
So,
what grade is it that you teach the DARE program?
5th grade.
Okay, and is it all year long, or is it part of the year?
Half year. So it's 11 weeks, so about a semester.
How many different schools are you in?
I will just be in Talmadge this year, but we take care of all the Lancaster City schools. Officer Chuck Sims, my partner, he's kind of helped me out this semester by picking up some of those schools, because unfortunately I also have a baby on the way, so it was going to cause some trying to do all the schools along with a baby coming. It was just going to be a lot, so he's helped me out tremendously with that.
What is it that you do know? Because I know you had just mentioned about how, what DARE used to be and some of the subjects and topics. Yeah. What is it exactly that the kids will learn in the classroom this day and age, because it's changed so much? And with what you share with that, what is it that you can maybe help any parents or grandparents that are watching to help them through this process? 5th grade is such a tough age.
It is. It's a transition period of time for kids. So depending on the grade, DARE actually covers K through 12. I mean, they have different programs set up for all the different age groups, and really they cover all aspects of decision making, what happens when you get into a situation, and just good role models, things of that nature. You know, they all the way to 12th grade, they set up programs for each. Our specific program, we go over what's called the DDMM, and it's just the DARE decision-making model. Okay. Again, it's all about making decisions. It's all about, you know, getting, you know, the kids kind of slow down a little bit, so when they get presented with a decision, they just don't.
They don't react, or they don't retaliate, you know, or just react instantly. They think about it.
It's taking that second. It's taking that second to think through, what are the consequences? What might come of my decision? Right? And then making an informed decision at that point is really what the whole class is about.
Nice, nice. So what are you looking forward to for this year? Because I know you're just getting into it. So just being with the kids?
Getting to know them, kind of seeing, you know, what it's like. You know, I've never been in front of a classroom of kids before. We do one module when we're in training, but as far as like all year round, getting to the kids, I know what it's like to be a football coach, you know, being in front, talking, and I get to know my boys and everything, but being in front of a classroom, seeing how like the kids kind of act toward me in uniform. Mm-hmm. I've never stood in front of a group of kids with a uniform on. You know, I was always Coach Bennett, not Officer Bennett. Yeah. And people make a big distinction in that. So I'm interested to see how that goes. I'm excited to kind of show them who we are as an officer, you know, that be more approachable and things of that nature as well. So
Right. So you said 11 weeks, right?
11 weeks.
So I did a program, and it happened to have been at Talmadge, and it was 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders. And I learned, I don't know if anybody's ever told you this, after 9 weeks is, I hate to use this term when it comes to the kids in the honeymoon phase, but that getting used to phase of you, and then they might start taking advantage. So be ready that 10th and 11th week. I'm sure they're going to love you.
Junior high boys football. I don't know if anyone's ever dealt with junior high boys, like 7th and 8th grade, but man, they can be a handful, and they will take any advantage they can get a hold of. So I am used to that. So
you will be perfectly fine. As a matter of fact, when I did that, and I don't know if it happened to have been, and I didn't ask or put it all together when the DARE program went through, but I'm just wondering how many of those students, once they go through that DARE program and the impression you leave on them, are going to walk away and want to be a police officer. Because I've had that in that 5th grade. There's the one said, I want to be a police officer, and I was like, yes, that's awesome stuff.
And that's what matters. Even if it's just one kid that you really help change, like that's in my mind. Anything I do is worth it if I can just help at least one person. So.
You know what? I love that you said that, and that just makes me just respect you even so much more, Andrew, because I feel that myself in life, it only takes one person at that one time to say that one thing that can change their life in a positive way for the rest of their life.
Absolutely.
And make it better. So kudos to you, and that's awesome. So you are my first responder of the month, and I want to thank Bay Food Market for that. And you've got some goodies in here, and I just hope you enjoy it. And Andrew, thank you so much for everything
that
you do. And good luck to this year. And I'm sure you're going to leave an awesome impression on those kiddos.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Folks, don't go anywhere. You're watching Down Home with Tina, and I'll be back in just a minute.
Life is unpredictable. That's why estate planning is important. Estate planning provides you comfort and peace of mind knowing that you're taking care of your loved ones and ensuring your legacy lives on just as you envisioned. You lived a life that is beautifully and uniquely yours. You deserve an estate planning attorney who understands that and creates a plan as unique as you and in the best interest of your loved ones. You deserve the local, trusted, experienced attorneys at Dagger Law.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our two locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Welcome back to Down Home with Tina. I'm very excited to have my Teacher of the Month. And the Teacher of the Month is brought to you by Cryo Communication, thanks to Angela and her great team and all that they do in the community. And I love bringing that right into this because talking about community, Tracey Tisdale, elementary teacher for 5th and 6th graders, Millersport Elementary School, over in Millersport. And this is my first time getting to have somebody from over there, but I have to say, being a graduate from Bern Union, they, of course, used to be, I don't know if they still are, maybe they are, big rivals back
well,
in the
they
day.
are, and I think they all still stay in this. They play sports
the same
with each other, and
yes.
same size.
That's what I thought. Yeah, and that's what we were talking about is the size of the classes and the class. Like I think I graduated with 60 people.
Right,
Tracey. So, and that is about what you. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool because I
Yeah.
love our small schools. I joke with my producer Josh because he's from a much larger school, and I'm like, your school would have just eaten me up and chewed me up and spit me out now. Like, I don't think so. I think, but it's really neat and nice to be able to have that small, wonderful, I think, class where you can really connect with the kids and students, and that's what we're here to find out about. Is all about you and you as a teacher and the community and your involvement with your, with all of that. So, will you share with everybody how many years have you been teaching, Tracey?
Well, I'm currently in my 30th year of teaching. I taught for a year in Athens City when I graduated from Ohio University, and then I took off some time until my kids were in school, and then I decided just to go back, and I applied. They had a position open at Millersport, which is my alma mater.
Oh, nice.
So I went there. I was there from K through 12, and I thought, well, I'll just give it a shot, and sure enough, I got the job, and that's where I've been ever since. So.
And you're still smiling, and I love that.
Oh, well, I love it there, so yeah.
So why 5th and 6th grade? What is it about them?
Well, you know what I love? I always tell people that when I get the 5th graders, they're like these sweet little cherub children, and they get hormonal and raging as they get older. But I love that part about them because they're changing, but they're still kids, and so it's nice to just have that constant. Because I get them for 2 years, we get to know each other. There's a mutual respect. And they're going through all kinds of stuff at that time, and so it's just I just think it's a great age to be part of.
So half of half of the day is for 5th grade and the other half is 6th grade?
Yeah, we're kind of set up like a mini middle school where I teach English language arts, another teacher teaches math, another teacher teaches science, and then we have social studies. So the kids do rotate. They go from class to class, and so we have 5th and 6th for that.
Yeah, I love 5th and 6th grade, and I've had friends who are teachers who they'll go, oh my goodness, middle school teachers, and they'll go, and then you see them in high school, and they're like, hi, Mrs. So-and-so, and she's like, I didn't even recognize them. Yeah. They're just like, what happened?
It's true.
They grow up.
It's true. They change.
They do. So what is your very favorite thing about going into school every day? And
it's definitely the kids. It's the kids, and they walk in the door, and we have a lot of at my level, because I'm lucky that we can have conversations, so we have lots of chats and lots of talks. And I even had one class that had every day they'd go in and put topic of the day on the board, and we just talk. It's just it's just nice to be able to just get to know them.
Yeah, have conversations with them. Yeah. And I have to say, as a parent and having kids who, one is now an adult and one who is almost an adult, it's great when they have a friend come over and they can have an adult, and I shouldn't say an adult conversation, just a conversation. And that is a huge piece in a child's life. It's just teaching them how to just sit down and talk to another adult. Yeah. Okay, so Millersport and the elementary school and the community, what kind of involvement does the community have with the school itself?
We have a great connection with our community. I feel like I'll go on and on about Millersport. It's like I feel like everything is in Millersport that you need. You don't have to, you could even walk to everything. It's very walkable. I mean, we've got a doctor's office, we've got gas stations, banks, restaurants, coffee shops. We've just got everything there. And so they support the school. And so we just enjoy having that support from them. In fact, we just finished with a little project we did with the kids for 5th and 6th grade. We do it every year. It's called Shopping Locally. So it started from when the kids were we did a reading passage a long, long time ago about how to support your local shops and your local stores to keep them open. And from there it grew. And now we take the kids, we split them up. This year I think there were 6 maybe shops, and we split them up. The kids wrote interview questions to find out more about the businesses, and the businesses invited the kids in, and they asked them the questions, and the kids wrote everything down, and they were gathering information. And then as the reading teacher, we'll take that information, and we make brochures for the town with the businesses on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, every year we make a little brochure, and one year we actually made a brochure, and we sent them out. We printed them and sent them out to all the businesses and put them on their counter if they wanted them.
Yeah.
And the mayor at the time of the town invited the kids to a council meeting and appreciated their brochure, and because we are like a little tourist town, we are right on the lake. And
Absolutely, you are, and that's what I think makes it so unique and a little different, is because you do have that piece of it where
we
you
do.
bring it. But what a really neat way for the kids to even build a relationship with those businesses in town. Because, you know, I mean, it's nothing sometimes to go to a town, and I'm not speaking of Lancaster here or any in particular, but I have been in different places that, you know, no backpacks can come in. But when it's a town like that, the students know, and they get to know the owners, and the owners get to know the students, and there's a certain kind of respect that they learn to get from one another, and that is a really cool thing that you guys do that. What else do you guys do that's really kind of fun and different and neat?
I mean, I can speak for like my end. I mean, all the teachers have a neat connection with the community, but we do every year, especially at the end of the year, we have a thing called Survivor, where we ask the kids, you know, towards the end of the year, they do get a little squirrely. So we want to make sure they're still getting their work done and they're still being respectful and good citizens. So they get a reward each week. Well, usually it's something where we'll go to the coffee shop and they'll make this a fruit smoothie for the kids. Millersport Coffee has been very supportive of us. And then one time we'll go fishing at the Millersport Marina. They have a little shelter house and a little outpost on the lake, and the kids, we make sticks. I went up to the woods in the back of my house and I got a bunch of sticks and put some fishing line on it and a sinker and a bobber and a hook, and the kids just fish off the thing, and that's another reward. So we do a lot of things fun like that to get them to get their work done.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's a reward at the end of it.
And that's
you
what
know?
I was going to ask you, is how do you keep them motivated?
That's
because 5th and 6th is a grade where they're trying. I feel that is that age where they're trying to figure out who they are.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, 7th grade. Now I know it's different because it's Millersport, but I remember being in 6th grade down in Old Sugar Grove, and we had the lady? Oh, what are the birds? What are they from the Grease? Oh my goodness, the Greasers and the pink ladies. That's it.
Oh, the pink ladies from Grease.
Oh,
the
yeah,
movie.
we were the stuff. But, So how do you keep them reeled in from that? Do you just have fun with it and let them be who they are?
Well, they are. We hope they are who they are, because that's what we want them to be. You know, I mean, obviously we have rules, and we want them to respect each other and respect the rules. But we hope that they are who they are and are kind, and you know, we have a program at our school called Second Step that teaches them all kinds of things about how to control your emotions and how to respect others. And it's a social emotional learning program, and we kind of interject that in the day, you know, too, to kind of keep them on track. And
anything to share with parents that can help keep the kids motivated.
Share with parents. Yep, just stay connected with your teachers, ask questions. We like to get emails, hey, what's going on? Is there anything I can do to help? You know.
Nice.
You know, we try to keep, we have an app that we send out to the parents, so we are always letting them know what's going on. It's called Remind, and so they always get texts on their phone saying,
nice,
this is what's going on. So,
How many more years do you think you'll be doing it?
Next year.
One more year.
One more year. Yeah, next year's it.
Well, thank you so much, Tracey, for all that you do. There's some goodies in here that I hope you enjoy. And if there's something that's not in there, then I need to put in there. Something from Ava Jewelers. I'll get that for you. It's here. It's just not in the bag. I grabbed the wrong bag.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
That is
Enjoy your goodies and your
It's nice to meet you.
And best wishes, and you too, on everything. And then when you get into retirement too. So, and it sounds like Millersport is very blessed to get to have teachers such as you, who's just been there for a while.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, dear.
Appreciate it.
Folks, don't go anywhere. I've got a message for you, and I'll be back in a minute. It's Town Home with Tina.
How prepared is your family if a tornado shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a hurricane? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
Let's go.
you'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Make a plan today.
Down Home with Tina is brought to you by these amazing sponsors. And folks, there are a few different ways you can watch Down Home with Tina. You can watch it on social media on my Facebook, Down Home with Tina. You can also watch it on Spectrum 1021 actual television. And you can watch that throughout the week on there. And also on CLN, your Hometown Connection YouTube channel. Some of yous like one, some of yous like the other, whatever you choose. I just hope that you will continue to watch, and thank you for watching. Folks, my message here in this segment is don't let life get the best of you. And some of you, if you are watching, like, yeah, Tina, that's easy for you to say. I'm going to tell you right now. So I haven't shared this with you yet. I guess I was just waiting for the right time, and now is better time than any, I guess. On Thanksgiving Day, it was one of the, I honestly think, most challenging holidays ever in my entire life. And I say that because of everything that happened. Do you know how sometimes you'll do something and then you'll be like, okay, seriously, that did not just happen. And you can just go on about your day. Well, folks, for me, it continued the entire time I was making dinner up until the point where I was going to take the dinner to where, so the story is so my dad wanted to have Thanksgiving this year together, and I wanted to have it with my dad. Well, he doesn't go out of his house, so I said, you know what, I'll make Thanksgiving dinner. And I'm really excited to say that I had just learned how to make my mom's dressing. So I decided that we were going to transport all of dinner. The first thing that happened, I'm trying to think about what was the very first thing that happened. I got the turkey in the oven, okay, and that was fine. I made my corn casserole. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, be careful when you're using the little aluminum pans. I thought it would be easy to transport over to my dad's. No, I mixed up my corn casserole and I put it in the fridge, and I brought both of them out at the same time, and they went. So you can only imagine, there was corn casserole, the inside of my door, all over, everywhere. So my sister came in to help with that and clean that up. Well, then there came a point with the turkey that I checked on the turkey, so I cut down in the turkey to see if it was finished. Now, mind you, it's got the bag and everything, the turkey bag, to make sure to see how it was doing. I cut a hole in the bottom. Didn't realize I cut a hole in the bottom of the aluminum pan, therefore, a few minutes later, there was smoke throughout the kitchen. So I had to go back into the kitchen and open the stove and clean all of that up. Well, then when I put the turkey bag back on it, it started to burn at one point. So then we had burning from that. Well, then I'm trying to arrange things around the oven. I end up forgetting the oven mitt in the oven. So more burning because, I didn't have enough smells going on in my kitchen. So all of that is said and done. And I looked at my sister at one point and I said, if one more thing happens to me today, I'm just going to laugh. Because you know that phrase, just may laugh or cry, you may as well just laugh about it. Well then, folks, on my way to my dad's house, my sister left the yams in the back, and she goes, I want to get the yams. So she gets the yams out. We're going along. My niece says to me, there's food in the road. And I'm driving, and I said, nuh-uh. And she goes, and her eyes are this big, and she's like, there's food in the road. You guys, we actually had the gravy tipped upright on the ground anyways. Let me just tell you this. Make the best of everything and don't let life get the best of you, because it was still an amazing and great day, because at the end of it, I was not going to let it take over. Just find the humor and find the fun in life. I'll be back next week. I hope you have a great week. God bless. It's Down Home with Tina.